video, you're about to watch me navigate through a real discovery call with my email automation client. Initially, he reached out to me seeking some automation services for his newsletter, Reddit community, and his new YouTube channel. He reached out after seeing my Reddit automation workflow that I shared on Reddit. After that, we hopped on a discovery call, and I'll try to break it down for you how it actually went, what I did right, what I should have improved, and more importantly, how you could be able to replicate this approach with your discovery calls. So let's actually dive deep into the call and grab some insights that will be helpful for you as well as me. So general rule of thumb that you should follow is you shouldn't start immediately selling. Discovery call is actually meant to only discover what the real business problem is and how you could solve it profitably. Without further ado, let's see everything in action.
In terms of just like AI automations, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically just like the agency route, building out automations for different people that need them, mostly founders, other people who are just like entrepreneurs and just need things automated, fitness trainers, etc. Building another one for like a founder that's trying to raise money to scrape, do outreach for VCs, stuff like that. But definitely seeing your tool that could auto find workflows in Reddit was super appealing to me just because I'm also building community, starting a YouTube channel. So if I could be able to access a lot more of the workflows on Reddit, that would be super helpful.
So unlike other clients who are seeking automation services, for most of the part we have to reach them out cold. However, in this case, the client was already warm and he's ready to adapt AI automation services into his business. So I jumped straight into what he's actually doing right now. So he quickly gets into the point of what he's actually doing right now.
Yeah, my focus is building community. That's my objective
Yeah.
for sure. So this is a newsletter I'm working on. It's going to be attached to a YouTube channel, developer. And basically part of each issue is basically like an automation of the week. So right now I was only doing one of them. And this is just like the one right here. You see the JSON template of the week, etc. Download link down here. But if I can do that, and have multiple and basically just be doing arbitrage, not selling them, but just kind of like resharing, that would be amazing. That would make the newsletter just that much more valuable for sure. So I would love to be able to use that for that case.
So how do you actually onboard the people to your newsletter? Is this some kind of website or your
There's two
YouTube
ways.
channel?
There's two ways. So there will be, I do a lot of stuff on Gumroad. So it's going to be weird if for some reason it always like blanks out. Like I have a bunch of people who've signed up. It's going to keep doing that for some reason. But you can see like the different emails of people.
Yeah.
That's one way, just through like lead magnets, etc. And then I'm also building like a separate just landing page of just like, do you want to join this newsletter? This is what's inside. And then driving people there from YouTube. And then obviously from there, giving them offers. There's probably going to be a lot of agency owners. Yeah, then, after a week or so or 2 weeks, then the whole newsletter might be exclusively designated just to an offer, or you know what I mean? There might just be a CTA at the bottom, but it's just a good way for me like to wrangle the community and have that be alongside the Reddit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on school, like getting people onboarded from these free communities on school? There are a lot of AI automation communities on school, right?
Yeah, school is interesting. School is just $99 a month. So it's like if it's a free community, you better be converting them pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're burning through a little bit of cash. So that's why I just like a newsletter to start. And then once the offer is ready, then using that. And plus, I have the subreddit too, right? So it's like, I have another place where I can talk to people. Obviously, it's not like school, but it's still a place that is growing. And I can use this as a community hub if I wanted to. There's people asking about starting a Discord. So there's different ways to have a free infrastructure that's not school. I obviously see the value of it, but I probably won't do that for a little minute.
What other mediums are you like exploring on the business side of things?
So I'm working with somebody else on government contracts. And so we're basically just going to be building like a sam.gov scraper that scrapes the government contracting site for opportunities. That's one other thing. Something else, other than that, pretty much just like scraping different places, Sales Navigator, Crunchbase, etc., to find leads and then doing cold emails. So here I actually let him speak for a while so that I could understand what his business goals are, what his idea of an ideal workflow would look like, and curate my answer around it. But here's what I should have done better in my opening. Before I show you, tell me about your current discovery process. How are you finding automations right now? What's actually working and what's not working in this approach? This would have helped me better understand his pain points before actually presenting my solutions and help me prepare an initial set of questions tailored to that pain point.
let's say someone is opens their email, right?
Yeah,
So are they seeing a post about a newsletter about one particular topic, or uh, is it like about all of the events that happen within that week? So
it'll
what is
probably
it?
be a weekly one that shows all the events throughout the week. I mean, that's definitely the goal for
Yeah,
sure, is to build
sponsorship.
it up to 10,000 people on there. I can, like you said, do sponsors, launch my own
Mhm.
offers. That's my goal with the newsletter for sure. I'm really big on community. I think community is
Yeah,
going to be almost just as important as clients, because I think there's going to be so much competition with different
yeah,
agencies. It's going to be about who has, these most loyal communities.
yeah. And how do you track uh, the performance of the newsletter exactly?
Yeah. So me and my business partner, we're using Mail Send. I think Mailer Send is what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Mailer Send. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it shows the open rate,
Yeah.
the like engagement, right?
Exactly. The click through rate, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Rate. Okay.
So he says he's not just looking for random automations, he's trying to build a content business. So for that, he needs consistent content for his newsletter, valuable automations for his community, and a scalable way to find and curate workflows. So this actually gave me a solid context about his business model. Initially, the pain points that I've identified are his current system has a time consuming and manual workflow discovery. There is a need for consistent newsletter content, and they're trying to build community around automation itself. So now I'll try to pivot from a low ROI workflow automation to a high ROI automation.
Some
Yeah.
kind of
Mm-hmm. Like lead magnet.
some
I
other
see
medium.
exactly what you mean. Where would you get
Yeah.
that information of, like you said, those
Hmm.
use cases, the real use cases of automations? Where
Yeah.
would you get that from?
So I suggest to the client that instead of just scraping workflows that are free and available online, which might or might not be that insightful to a newsletter subscriber, but instead try to find real pain points of the client and businesses out in the market. So one such platform that has a lot of clients and businesses sharing their pain points that are actively looking for these automation services and are willing to pay a good amount for it is Upwork.
I'm also thinking is an Upwork scraper. What it does is
Smart.
it scrapes
Yeah.
all the job
Yeah.
posting from Upwork,
Yeah.
so we
You
can
should also,
actually, yeah.
keep going. I was about to say,
Hmm.
because that's a really good idea of just like scraping Upwork to see what other people
Yeah.
are asking for. And then also coming to this site. So
Hmm.
this site is called Clutch.co. It's a directory for
Hmm.
agencies. So like you can come in here and go to artificial intelligence, find the top AI companies,
Yeah.
and then you can basically see, like, these are major companies too. Like this minimum project size is 10,000. This one is 25,000. So you can
Hmm.
come in here and then see their actual projects that they're doing. So you can see custom software development, hired by a medical device company to build a mobile app, So this is
Hmm.
another place that you could scrape to find real project uses. Like, here, you can download this if you give your email and join a newsletter, or just say, this is
Hmm.
in the newsletter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got.
So I actually proposed to the client that we should try to scrape the job requirements from Upwork, try to categorize them into meaningful insights, structure them in an insightful and digestible way, do a GPT analysis, and try to actually double tap on how important the requirement would be and the scale of impact that it would create in the market. So this would actually give us high ROI workflows that we will be able to capitalize on and provide real insights to the user about the real pain points in the market and how much they're worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should stick with one probably good source of
Yep.
getting the data.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be Upwork, but within Upwork we have to get all kind of granular data, not just the high level data that people see. We should be
You
getting the
say,
exact.
yeah, when you say
Yeah,
granular, what do you mean? Like what part
I
of the
mean,
data?
yeah. So I mean, which tools are which industry using? So based on industry level, what actual tools are in demand for a particular industry, and
Yeah,
then
exactly. Hmm.
within that industry, like what is the actual salary for in Upwork? It's like on project basis, right? Yep,
Because
sure.
I like everything you're saying. And I think that,
Hmm.
like you said, sticking with one data source is very
Yeah,
smart just to
yeah.
find those ideas.
Where exactly should we start? There is a lot of ways we can go about it, right? If you have something already, uh, to kick off with.
You're basically going to get blueprints, scraping templates, make. But that's just basically what you were telling me of like going to Upwork, scraping, see how
Hmm.
people are. which tools are in demand in each industry. And then positioning is like now you can kind of white label your own agency because we're giving you not only automations and blueprints, but also who needs them, etc., how much they would pay. So we're just giving people research. We're showing people every single, insight into AI agencies from this type of stuff to what you're doing with Upwork.
So initially in the phase one, the requirement was workflow collection and categorization. So around 500 to 600 automation templates were already collected, organized by use cases such as lead generation, content creation, etc., as well as a well-documented structure and clear instructions to how to use them. In the phase two, we needed to do a lot of market research and validation to actually back the workflows. So it would involve Upwork Scraper to identify high automation demands, industry analysis of which tools are most requested, which skills are most high in demand, and the pricing data to prioritize what are actually highest ROI automations out there. So the pivot from scraping workflows online and trying to guess what automations might be valuable, we decided to actually scrape Upwork job postings for automation for ongoing and recurring automation requests, analyzing pricing trends by industry and complexity, identifying most in-demand skills and tools, creating data-driven positioning for our automation workflows.
So the deliverables are basically JSON blueprints and then the high ROI use case library, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So to be honest, you have a lot of this because you have the automation set up where you can find pretty much blueprints, automations from Reddit. All that's needed is that use case library. Yeah, that's one of the most important things that I feel like everybody in this industry is facing is knowing how valuable each automation is.
Like I'll probably like ask on the WhatsApp what are the key parameters that we want to filter on, since there'll be a lot of things, right? There'll be skills, there'll be experience, there'll be a lot of requirement from the clients, right, on Upwork. Yeah, so like we want to be clear, right, which parameters should we actually prioritize on.
So here we had to determine a few parameters that we need to set to ensure no low quality requirements come through. So some of the filters to avoid low quality requirements to come through was looking for more than $1,000 worth of projects, categorizing by industries and use cases, sorting by frequency and average project costs. But the missed opportunity here, when the client asked me about timeframes and filtering, I should have probably gone deeper to saying if you had access to 50 to 100 high quality workflows every week, instead of manually searching, how would that change your newsletter strategy? How would that impact your business? Just trying to zoom in on their pain point about the actual problem they're facing. So the missed opportunity here was always qualify the business impact of the solution during the discovery call.
It was like AI proposal, media plan generation,
Yeah.
lead
So
generation.
we can see the
So that
tags below,
keyword,
right?
yeah.
There are
Oh,
certain
exactly.
tags, right?
It's perfect. Yeah, so like lead generation, data scraping, sales, chatbot
Yeah.
integration for sure, API integration. Those keywords there.
So
Python,
yeah,
CRM
sure.
automation.
I think I'll probably start working on that. It will be ready probably in 2 days, just to be sure and test it
Yeah,
out.
for sure. I was about to
Yeah.
say testing is important for sure.
Yeah, testing is. It should be able to categorize within a broad category. So if it's a very specific pieces of technology, it should probably take it under one big umbrella.
What do you
So
mean?
let's
What do
say you can
you?
see that it says using platforms like Lucia, Apollo, all
Yeah.
of these platforms.
What do you
So
mean?
let's
What do
say you can
you?
see that it says using platforms like Lucia, Apollo, all
Yeah.
of these platforms, we can branch it under the contact discovery platform. You get that? So these all are contact discovery tools, right?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Instead of saying, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, I love that. I love that." So it's like you say the broad category of contact
yeah,
discovery versus just saying learn Apollo, learn Zoom info. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let me actually test it out with a bunch of filters and tagging, and we should be good to go probably in, I'd say, by Thursday.
Okay. Okay, for sure. And then we can tag back up Thursday or
Yeah,
Friday morning, whichever one works best for you. And then we
yeah.
could talk about how we can deploy this, get this live, because there's no reason, why we're not running with this as soon as going live Friday or Monday for sure.
Yeah, got it. Let me actually, first build out this Upwork workflow.
Hmm.
then we'll probably get into what mediums we can explore.
Yeah, as I always say, let's take things step at a time. Definitely
Yeah,
want to make sure the product is good, which is basically just the results from the Upwork scraper, and then we can go
yeah,
from there.
So that's how the call went. So here are a few key takeaways from this call. So the client revealed that he already has newsletters with existing subscribers. He's trying to build a YouTube channel and he wants to, in general, provide more value to his automation community. Not just do development work with them, but also try to capitalize on a long term partnership opportunity. Listen more than you talk. So I let my client speak for 70% of the call. This revealed a potential partnership opportunities that I would have never discovered otherwise if I just stick to pitching my tool. It would have been a low ROI minimum outcome from the call. Second, proof capability immediately. So I showed the real results within 10 minutes of the call. I showed how it collected 500 plus automation templates already, and this positioned myself as not just claiming that I could build this workflow for them, but actually having the workflow and trying to optimize it for them. And actually, I could optimize it and customize it according to their business needs. Next one would be explore business models and not just features. So the client wasn't just looking for a scraping tool. He was trying to build a content business. He was trying to build up a community. Understanding his monetization strategy opened up a lot of bigger opportunities for me. So next one would be validate market demand with data. So what I potentially pitched him is we should scrape the job postings from Upwork to identify what are the highest paying and most in demand automation projects. So just pitching that made the client realize that we are not just trying to guess what our automations would be valuable and scrape them, but actually back them up with actual key insights from the industry and from the automation projects. The next one would be always have clear next steps. So each call should end up with specific actions and timelines. So we already agreed on the deliverables, the deadline and communication methods before hanging up the call. Although it's just a discovery call, but we made so much progress that we actually confirmed everything within the call. Now, coming to what I could have improved, I could have asked better qualifying questions. I should have asked his current revenue, audience size, and monthly content creation cost upfront, quantified ROI more clearly. So when the client mentioned manual workflow discovery taking hours per week, I should have calculated the hourly cost to get the actual return of investment and make my pricing more justifiable and back that up with what I'm saving for him. I could have added a few things in there. The next one would be address potential objections upfront. I could have proactively addressed concerns about content quality, automation reliability, and market saturation in the industry. I could have established a clearer metrics when I look back into it. So we should have defined what actual success looks like to him in terms of subscriber growth targets, revenue goals, and content output metrics. This would have helped me position myself better and to focus on a tangible outcome backed up by trackable and measurable metrics. So overall, the discovery call turned a simple tool demo into a strategic partnership opportunity. The key was focusing on the client's business goals rather than just trying to pitch my technical capabilities and end every call with clear next steps and communication channels.
So, in the next section, we'll look into the outcome of the Upwork Pain Point Analysis database. It contains job posting details, real client pain points, automation opportunities, client details such as budget, industry, etc., project details, newsletter insights, and much more. Let's have a look at the job postings table first. We have job title, date extracted, the job URL. In the next one, we have automation opportunity. Here we have ranking of the automation potential, the reasoning for the automation potential, the implementation complexity, the reasoning behind implementation complexity, the recurring revenue potential for the automation, and the corresponding job posting. The next one we have client quality assessment. Here we have the industry, budget, project length, hours required, and their corresponding job postings. Newsletter insights, where we have the industry trends, scalability of the solution, case study potentials, and the reasoning behind the case study potential. and ROI score, the ROI reasoning, and the corresponding job postings. The skills table, here we have the corresponding job post as well as each specific skill required for the job posts. All of these have been analyzed by GPT. Have pain points table where we have primary pain point, secondary pain point, the pain point intensity, and the current process, along with the job postings. These are indicative of all the pain points mentioned in the job description. So, in the next section, we'll look into
Once you get access to this, the link to this will be in the description. Basically, you can really kind of see what jobs have been posted and really understand kind of like what the market is demanding. So this gets updated every single week. You can come on here, come to really any job. This is all filtered by AI. Everything is here that you need in order to get started. There should be no more excuses for any agency owners, people in automation. I see it all the time on Reddit of like, how do you guys find clients? They're literally here asking you to do exact automations for them. The only thing is you can't be intimidated by seeing a low number for the job because a lot of these people are only problem aware of one or two things and they need to be walked to their next problems that can be solved with automations. So with this, you can get a leg up and seeing what other automations have been in demand, but you now have from Jonathan the full workflow of how to go from zero to closing your first clients. Once
So
you
yeah,
get
that was the video. Hope you liked the video. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.